Welcome back to the Top Notch Documentaries YouTube channel. This video is going to be me reading an Army Buddy account of Israel Keyes. Names on this document were hidden, and so I shall be referring to names as blank. I've run out of Israel Keyes clips, but shall be uploading the full length interviews very soon. I'd appreciate any video suggestions on Israel Keyes, and I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you all for your continued support. Blank served in the United States Army with Keyes from 1998 until the time that Blank was discharged from the military in January 2002. They were stationed together in Fort Lewis, Washington, and both were known as Mortar Men. They were also deployed together on two separate occasions, once to Panama in 1999, and the other was to Saudi Arabia, Israel border, in 2000 through 2001. Their mission while in Saudi Arabia and Israel was to ensure no army crossed the border and avoid the possible war that would follow. The last time that Blank and Keyes spoke or had any type of contact with one another was when Blank was discharged from the army. Blank had tried to look for Keyes and other members of his platoon on Facebook, but was not able to locate any of them except for Blank. Blank described Keyes as a good soldier, someone who was squared away. Keyes was a large individual who had broad shoulders and a big nose. He was someone who was very quiet when he first checked into the platoon. Keyes kept to himself a lot of the time and did not begin to really drink until Keyes was assigned a roommate. First name unknown, Blank. Keyes and Blank were always together. They would not go out of the local area to drink, but instead stayed around base. Keyes claimed to be Amish, but never spoke about his religion, family or upbringing. The only thing about Keyes' family that Blank remembered is that Blank thinks Keyes has one brother and one sister, but Blank does not remember any other details beside that. Keyes did not have any pictures at his boot camp graduation or any other significant event with his family displayed in his barracks room. Keyes talked about going on hunting trips on occasion, but Blank is not sure if Keyes ever actually went hunting. Keyes had a few hunting magazines that he subscribed to. Keyes was familiar with animals, but Blank attributed that knowledge to Keyes having an Amish upbringing. Keyes had a severe dislike for all animals. While most people who do not like animals would try to avoid them, Keyes would approach animals for the purpose of hurting them. Keyes told a story of the best way to kill a goat, which I'm not going to read on here. And there was a time when Keyes tied a cat to a tree and then shot the cat in the stomach with a .22 caliber bullet. The cat would try to run away, but would only go in circles around the tree it was tied to. While in the Middle East, Keyes would put two scorpions into an ammo can so that one could kill the other. This would happen from time to time, with a large group of people around, but Keyes did this on occasion by himself. Most of the time when Keyes would tell stories about doing these things to animals, Keyes would tell the stories in a proud and humorous way. Blank does not know about any tattoos or markings that Keyes has, besides the branding that Blank gave to Keyes at Keyes' request while they were deployed in the Middle East. Blank said that Keyes wanted a pentagram branded into his arm. Despite thinking it was a stupid idea, Blank heated up a clothes hanger and made a single brand on the left arm of Keyes, above the elbow. At this point, Keyes decided that he would not go through with the rest of the pentagram due to the pain of the single line branded into him by Blank. Blank was actually the person who suggested the idea of branding a pentagram into Keyes' arm. Many other members of the platoon were present whilst this was happening, and while Blank said they all thought it was a dumb idea, they all cheered it. Keyes' closest friend in the military was without a doubt Blank. They were roommates and did just about everything together. More than anything else, they lifted weights together, but they did other things together also. Some of those other things included drinking alcohol. They tried acid together once and scheduled a trip to Idaho for a weekend to attend a white supremacist meeting. Blank is not sure if Keyes and Blank actually went to this meeting, but does remember the desire to go expressed by both Keyes and Blank. Blank was artistic, and when he heard a story from Keyes about how Keyes liked to chase squirrels and tried to kill them with a chainsaw, Blank showed interest in making a cartoon drawing of the event. Keyes never had, nor did he display any desire to have a girlfriend, but Blank does not think that Keyes was homosexual, despite making jokes about Keyes and Blank being in a homosexual relationship. Keyes was never seen by Blank committing a crime, nor did Keyes talk about any crimes he had committed. Keyes did not have a vehicle and never spent any of his money on anything besides military gear. When Keyes would spend some of his money, it would be at the tactical tailor near the base to improve his vest. Keyes also made gear of his own, possibly a skill he learned while growing up. The most elaborate thing that Keyes made for himself was his own ghillie suit. Keyes was typically even kneeled and often spoke in a monotone voice, but on two separate occasions that Blank could remember, Keyes got very angry. One time was after a 15-mile ruck march led by the company executive officer, the second in command of the company. Keyes, being one of the largest soldiers in the company, was one of the men who were assigned to carry the mortar tube and plate. The mortar tube and plate possibly weighed approximately 60 pounds or more, including the rest of Keyes' own equipment. His total weight load was probably over 110 pounds for the entire 15-mile march. Upon returning to his barracks, Keyes threw the mortar tube and plate across his barracks room at the television, breaking it. The other time when Keyes lost his temper in the presence of Blank was during a payback operation. This is when a soldier has the opportunity to address any problems that he or she might have with another soldier. Both soldiers would be in the middle of a circle made up of other soldiers with boxing gloves. The soldiers in the middle would box, and the problem that did exist was then resolved, and a paper trail was never started. Some soldier that Blank does not remember had a problem with Keyes, so they both entered the circle. This other soldier punched Keyes in the nose pretty hard while they were boxing, and this is what angered Keyes. Keyes lost his temper at this point and beat this other soldier to the point where Blank and some other soldiers had to intervene to pull Keyes off the soldier to stop him from being beaten up. In retrospect, some of the things that Blank found strange about Keyes was the animal cruelty, the lack of family connection, and the lack of interest in women. Keyes also did have no other ambitions for when he would eventually leave the army. Keyes did not mention going to school or a particular job he wanted. All Keyes spoke of was going back to the home that Keyes had built when he was a teenager. This home in New York or Pennsylvania also apparently had approximately 9,000 Black Talon pistol rounds buried throughout the property grounds. When Keyes went on leave, he would go back to his home in New York or Pennsylvania, but never had any other stories about his family when he returned from leave. This was just a short video on an Army Buddy story. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, thanks for watching.